And then I'm going to share my screen. I do have a slideshow to share as we go along. And like I said, any questions, save those till the end, write them down so you don't forget. And then we'll go get started. It is 8:01, so perfect timing. If you do not know who I am, my name is Whitney. I almost said Schaffner. Ha, that's awkward. I just got married, so my last name is now Ganshaw. So my name is Whitney Ganshaw. Feels really weird and very exciting to be able to say that finally. I have been with 31 for 6 years in July. I'm a senior director. I've served on PAC, Leadership Council, which is now Leadership Circle. I'm in Kentucky. I've been top in state in Kentucky for PICAs and PV for the last 4 years, which is super cool. And I 110% believe that hostess coaching is how we make our parties greater, stronger, and higher. So I'm so glad you all are here. I think that hostess coaching is the most important part of the party. Having a party script is crucial. It makes our job a lot easier, especially if you're partying often or if you're partying as well as raising kiddos and have a family to serve and working full time. Those scripts make everything a lot easier. Let me turn that off. Okay, so with my hostess coaching script, I did just want to say that I party one night. So I have a party script, like I mentioned, of a couple days of pre-post, and then together one night we all come online, and then a couple days after as after party post. That's not really that important with the hostess coaching script that I'm going to share with you all, but I just want you to kind of get a good feel of how I'm using this hostess coaching script. Also, I will 110% mess up and say hostess coaches a million times. I don't know why, but for some reason that's how my mind works. But yeah, also very important to know before we get started that this is just one of the ways to hostess coach. I think that if you don't have any sort of hostess coaching script that you follow, this is the one to start with. There are some on 31today.com on TOT. I have friends that are also very successful partiers online and in home and use completely different hostess coaching scripts that work for them. But if you do not have one that you are already using and you love, use this because I know it works. When I first started, it took me about 2 years to promote into leadership. So I was struggling to do like $1,000 in personal volume every single month, which is our minimum for leadership. Then after I started learning how to hostess coach, I started creeping up to 4,000 to 5,000 in personal volume pretty consistently. And now I'm doing $9,000 to $10,000 in personal volume pretty consistently. And y'all, I owe it all to my hostess coaching. I also think that it's important to share with you all that I don't know about you all, but there are days that I do not want to get out of bed. I struggle really bad with anxiety and depression, and this script gives me that peace of mind that I don't have to think about what to send next. I can just copy it and send it. I can just copy it, paste it, and send. So I don't have to think too hard about what to do next on those days where I might be struggling a little bit. So use this to your full advantage. I have notes here, so I'm just going to read over them and make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, so hostess coaching. What is hostess coaching? Basically, it is telling your hostess how to have a successful party. We are not coming out of the womb or learning how to be a great party hostess in school. So it is your job as the consultant to train your hostess how to have a great party so that she is partnering with you and following these steps so that she gets the most for free and you get a rockin' paycheck. And then she's gonna party with you again. So when your hostess sets out to have a $1,000 party and she gets $200 for free and you get that rockin' paycheck, everybody is going to be happy. So that is our goal. You have to tell them what to do and how to do it. That is your job as a consultant. So that is kind of what these steps are going to tell her to do. These are steps for you as the consultant to take and then share with your hostess on how to have a great party. Okay, I kind of already said all of this. I was going without using my slideshow, which is actually pretty impressive if I do say so myself. One thing I didn't mention though, that if you are struggling with time management, this is so to your benefit. So again, you don't really have to think about it. If you have a 5-minute potty break at work, you just go to your Hostess Coaching script. See, I told y'all I would do that. Send the message that it's time to send and press send. You don't even have to think about it. Okay, so I have 3 main steps in my Hostess Coaching script. The first one is to make a guest list. I coach my hostess, as you should too, to invite about 40 to 50 guests. I let her know that about half of those people are going to say they want to come, and then about a half of those people are going to shop. So if you want an $1,000 party,
So this is.
Oh, sorry. Don't forget to mute yourself, y'all. If our average order is almost $100, then we are going to want about 11 to 12 shoppers to get that $1,000 party, right? It's simple math. So we want to invite 40 to 50 so that half of them attend and half of those shop. This next step is to be excited. If she is excited, then her guests are going to be excited, and they're going to be able to tell like how excited is their hostess, because they know their hostess. They know her as a friend, as a family member, a sister, or a cousin. They're going to know her best. And this third step that I have my hostesses do is to follow up. Their friends are shopping for her, or her friends, your friends are shopping for you. As the hostess, that is what I tell her. They do not know me. They don't really care if I'm getting a paycheck or not, although I wish they did. But they do care if their friend or their sister is getting their wish list for free. Okay, this is the step-by-step, y'all. This is exactly what I do. So step 1. As soon as they book their party, so I'm having a conversation with this lady, and I'm asking her, hey, does December 3rd work for you? And she says yes. As soon as she says yes, I'm asking her to fill out my hostess form. So this is the message I send. Hey, will you fill this out for me when you get a second? And I'm actually going to show you all what this form is. And it is just a form. It's a Google form all about my fall insiders. So the first several questions are questions that I'm just asking so that I don't have to go back and forth with her a million times. Hey, what's your email address? Hey, what's your address? To fill in those questions in our back office. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Because the back office asks for all of that hostess information. So I do that simply. It looks very professional. It's easy to get the information. And
I just needed the one
for you. If your hostess ever stops responding to you and you all are communicating through Facebook Messenger, I think that's how we communicate with a lot of our hostesses, right? If she stops responding to you, now you have her phone number. So you can text her instead. Hey, are you getting my Facebook messages? I always love to know that I have that backup way of communicating with her. Oh, I hear some background noise. Make sure you're muted, guys. Okay, this is where it gets good. What is your wish list? I want to focus a lot on what my hostess is wanting to earn for free. If I can let her know that I'm going to help her get that large utility tote, the All About the Benjamins wallet, and a half moon pouch for free, she's going to get super excited, and she's going to be more willing to partner with me and follow all of my exact steps. I also put in a recruiting seed. So would you like to flip your party into a launch party? Heads up, if she feels this little not right now bubble, I'm still going to reach out to her and ask her if she wants to flip the party into a launch party. It's a super smart move to make as a business owner, is always thinking with a recruiting mindset. The next question is the insider exclusives. Remember, I'm coaching to an $1,000 party every single time. So I want my hostess to have the mindset that she is getting 2 of these for free. So I asked her which two she would pick. And then I also have two little blurbs here, just letting her know how important my parties are for her. I think that this helps with people not canceling or not ghosting me or whatever you want to call it. So I just kind of have her put her name and that she understands. And then I also ask if she has any questions for me because I don't want her to just be in the dark. So this is what my hostess form looks like that I get her to fill out as soon as she books a party with me. Then, about a week before the party starts, I really start hostess coaching her. And y'all, these are the exact messages that I'm sending her. So this first one, hey, I'm working on making your party group today. Want to help you get your guest list started. Remember, she doesn't know how to build a guest list. That is your job as the consultant to train her how to make her guest list. So as soon as I send this first message, I send the second message. And I let her know it's what I've been doing that works the best. And I think that as my hostesses are looking up to me as a top consultant, they're also looking up to me to know what to do, and why I'm doing it is because it works the best. So I let her know that what I have been doing for the guest list is making a list, shoot for 40, and then start asking them individually. Y'all, this is gold. Our hostesses have to individually invite their guests to the party. They cannot mass add to parties. That does not work anymore. That little blue button that you see in the party groups, it doesn't work. They cannot use it. So I'm having her individually send out messages asking her guests to come to the party. Once they say yes, I highlight their name. I even send her this little graphic right here. This is a hostess flyer that I filled out years ago, and I just use that. I send it to all of my guests whenever I send them this first message. The next step is sending them this short video. I'm actually going to play the video for you all. It's 1 minute and 12 seconds long, but after I play the video, we'll talk about it. So I send them this video and this message. Wanted to send you this short video with my top 3 tips. I already told you all what my top 3 tips were, right? Making the guest list, being excited, and following up. And I've already kind of hinted to the guest list and how important that is to her too. So it's very important to reiterate how crucial each of these steps are. So oh, that's the only link I didn't have pulled up. Sorry about that.
Hey, November hostesses. You all are in for a treat this month. November is one of the best months of the year to host a 31 party, and I am pumped, as you can tell. So I wanted to make this short, sweet video, just giving you all my top 3 tips to have the best party ever. So listen up. Number 1, make that guest list. This is so important to have a successful party. You're going to want to think of your online party like an in-person party where you want all of your favorite people to come to your house. So if you wouldn't invite them to your house, don't invite them to your Facebook party. We're still shooting for about 20 people, so make a list of 40. About half of them will say they want to come, and it's going to be so fun. Then you're going to ask them personally if they want to come. Again, that personal connection, making sure that they show up to party with you. You're going to send them the link to join your Facebook party. We're not going to use that blue button, the invite button. We're not going to use it. We're not going to look at it. Just don't use it. If you use it, I know you use it, and then it's awkward because I've asked you not to. So send the link to your people. It works so much better, and it will make Facebook happier, which in the long run will make you have a better Facebook party. Okay, tip number 2 is to have fun. Seriously, it's a Facebook party. It's meant to be fun. Sit on the couch for 30 minutes one night. Shop with your friends, pour yourself a glass of wine. If you're excited, that excitement is going to overflow into your friends. So then they'll be excited too. Number 3, this is such an important tip is to follow up with your guest. You have to ask them to shop after the party. I will send you a list of those who haven't shopped yet. I'll make it super simple. I can even tell you the words to say. If I'm invited to an online party and the hostess does not personally reach out to me and ask me to shop, I don't. So it really is such an important step to take. It's a must do. You cannot skip that step. So those are my best 3 tips. If you have any questions for me, please reach out. I'm your partner. We're in this together. I want you to have the most successful party ever. So if you have any questions, let me know. I don't want you to like sit in the dark or anything. So let's get this party started.
Okay, so that is the video that I send them. And if you all don't already have a hostess coaching video like that, I really, really recommend it. A lot of the things that I said in the video, I've also said in messages that, one, I've already sent to her about the guest list, being excited, and then following up, which you will see is like step 7 or, towards the end of the party. This is just a way for her to really hear your voice and how important these steps are. So highly recommend making a hostess video, short and sweet. I would keep it under 2 minutes. You can do the top 3 tips just like I did. High energy, show her you're excited so that she gets excited, so that her guests get excited. It's a ripple effect. I make a new one each month just because I party a lot, so I want it to be a little bit personal, like the Santa hat, for example, it's November, to each hostess. If you're partying once or twice a month, you could make one hostess video for the whole season and just reuse it over and over again, because those best tips, they don't change. And then it doesn't have to be a fancy schmancy video. I mean, I was at my kitchen table, I set up my phone, I recorded myself, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. So doesn't have to be fancy at all. I always like to say that done is better than perfect. So you don't already have a hostess coaching video for step 3, totally recommend. Okay, so the next step is a day or so before the pre-party post starts. So this is probably about 3 days before my main party. Like I said at the beginning, I send her her party group. So this is the message I send. And again, in the message, I'm telling her, stay away from the blue invite button. So, I mean, how many times have I told her this at this point? Hopefully she gets the hint. Y'all, sometimes they don't, and it's okay. Guess what? Just decline those people, because you can tell if she used the blue invite button or if she has personally invited her guest. And I'm going to show you how you can tell that right now. So as a consultant, whenever you create a group, you have access to all of the group settings. So whenever you are in a group, you go to group settings, and then you scroll down to member. Oops, sorry, I scrolled down too much. Manage membership. Who can approve member request? You're going to change that to only admins and moderators. You are the admin, so you are the only one who can approve member request. If somebody has asked to join the group, it's just going to have her name. But if she was added by a friend, it's going to have her name, and then it's going to say added by, and then your hostess's name. That is when I am giving you permission right now to hit that decline button, because that is not what you asked your hostess to do. Okay? I know it's weird and it's awkward, and nobody likes confrontation. I mean, I don't like confrontation, and I'm not even an Enneagram 9. So I know that it feels a little bit awkward, but just know that you are the professional. You are the party pro. And be confident in telling her, this is not what works best. This is what we're going to do instead. So that is that. I'm pretty passionate about that step, if you can't tell. Okay, then the day before the actual main event party, by this time my hostess, my posts have been made, my hostess is engaging, her guests are engaging. She usually has about 15 to 16, maybe 17 people in the party, but I want a few more people, just like those cherries on top. So this is the message that I'm sending her. Y'all, if you haven't tried this as a hostess coaching step before, I recommend it, obviously. So I just sent her this picture right here that is not usually this grainy, but I just asked her, to make a post on her personal page with, I love them all, but can only pick one. Which one should I get? That is it. We don't want her to mention that she's having a Facebook party on that post because we want to encourage her to have conversations with each person that comments on the post. This is a very Facebook friendly post. If she asks her friends, which one should I get? They're going to give their suggestion. Women love to give their opinion. So they're going to answer her. Then I want her to message them and ask if they want to come to her party. So whenever she does this step correctly, it is so, so good. So add that one to your hostess coaching. This is my day of party step. So first thing, what I do whenever I wake up in the morning is I send her a message and say, it's party day. And then right after that, I send her this next message. It's time to make your final reminders to your friends. I really like this step, and it's always the most rewarding at getting your guests there tonight. Take a cute picture like this one and send it to everyone you invited. And then I remind her, mass messaging is super spammy, so send it through individual text and messages. And then I give her this example. This is a picture I send all of my hostesses. It's a past hostess of mine who has since turned team member. So that is all I want them to send. They don't have to send a message with it. All I want them to send is a little cute selfie or a picture or a graphic that they've made. I prefer a selfie like this because it's very personal. And the cool thing about this is that whenever she sends this picture to her guest, they have to open the message in order to see what the picture is. If she was to send them a message and say, hey, don't forget about my Facebook party tonight, those people don't actually have to open the message to see what that message says because it's going to give them that little preview of the message. But if they send them a photo, then it's going to say, Bobby Jean sent a photo. And they're going to want to open that message to see what that photo is. So it's such a good way to get them excited. Such a good step. And then I also send this little message here at the end. You can send it to me too. I love seeing my girls' pics. And that just kind of holds them accountable. Like, hey, I really want you to send this picture because you're sending it to me too. Okay, about an hour before the party, I asked my hostess to make one more status like this to get any last minute people in her party. You can kind of see that this is a really excited hostess. This actually wasn't even one of my hostesses, but I loved it so much that I use it as an example at every single one of my parties. So I send her this as an example when I ask her to make one more status. I also go back to my Google form and look at what was on her wish list. And then I go to the real life pictures and personalizations group on Facebook, and I grab a couple of really good real life pictures of items that are on her wish list and send them to her and say, you can use these photos if you want. Because then she's getting excited like, oh yeah, I want that for free. So it's just kind of reminding her of what's on her wish list. This is just kind of an example of an excited hostess versus that's not exactly what I meant whenever I asked her to make a status hostess. So you can see that this hostess is pretty excited. She's used pictures. She's found pictures from her party to use. She used a picture I sent her. There's some like personality in her status. While this hostess just kind of, did her thing and made it real easy. And y'all, I can tell you, like, this was an $1,000 party and this was a $500 party. And a $500 party is great, but I'm aiming for $1,000 parties. So you can just kind of see the difference. 5 minutes before the party starts, I send my hostess a message and I'm like, here we go. Don't forget to comment on every post and welcome and say hi to your guest. And then I also ask her, if you notice no one comments right away, will you tag your guest on post number 1 and number 6? Post number 1 is the roll call. So, hey, who's here to have a good time? I definitely want her guests to see that post. And then I really want her guests to see number 6 as well, because that is my party poll, but you can make this completely personalizable to you. Whatever post you want your guests to see, you can ask your hostess to tag them tag her guest on that post. Ooh, that was a mouthful. How many times can I say post? Okay, so after the party, I usually do this the same night, but sometimes I send it the next morning, especially if it's a really poppin' party and there's a lot of comments coming in and orders. So this right here says, it's time to follow up with each of your guests. And then I let her know your friends are shopping for you. Everyone you invited should get a message from you. Y'all, I've already told her that she was going to be following up with her guest. I've actually told her twice. So she's expecting this message. I know that it might seem like a lot for you to ask her of her, but this is what makes the difference. And then I send her this message too. 90% of orders will come this way, so it's a can't miss step. And honestly, if I'm invited to an online party and the hostess doesn't personally invite me to shop, I won't, which is 100% true. So it's a really good step to take. We are invited to so many online parties these days. It's important for her to take that next step and go above and beyond and show her friends and family and her party guests that this party is important to her and she wants to earn these things for free. So following up with them is just absolutely crucial. Now, I want you to remember what I said at the very beginning. There are tons of different ways to hostess coach. I'm going to say something that some people might not agree with, but it is not your job as the consultant to follow up with these party guests that you have no relationship with yet. It's your hostess's job. That is her job to follow up with these guests. I know there are plenty of ways out there to effectively follow up with guests that you might not have a relationship with yet, and I definitely encourage y'all to go and find those effective ways to follow up with them, because we are different. 31 is different. We are the best. Like, that's why people come to us. They want to be part of the sisterhood. They want to host parties for us because they know that we're not going to bombard, or whatever that word is, bombard their friends. So it's very important to just hold a high standard for your business. Okay, step 10. After follow-up, we're going to follow up again. So this is the message that I send before we close the party. So usually a few days after the party has ended, usually a few days after my main event party has ended, I send her this message. Before we close, want to send everyone who hasn't ordered yet one more message. Hey, my party is closing soon. Do you want to order? As a last minute reminder to prevent this from happening, because it happens all the time. And I actually sent her a screenshot of this, y'all. I get this message too often, and every single time it like burns my gears. It makes me so upset because I've asked my hostess to follow up with her friends and make sure that they get their orders in. So I'm hoping that by showing them this message, y'all, I still get the message, but I do think that I get it a little less than I used to. It's just showing them how important it is to follow up with their guests before we close the party so that we don't miss any orders, because this does happen. Okay, so a couple things that I think are really important to know whenever you are hostess coaching. What do you do if your hostess doesn't do what you ask? I kind of mentioned one of them earlier, and that is you're the pro. Be confident in knowing that the steps you're having her take are the best steps. Y'all, I get it too. Like, I get the pushback. Why can't I just use the blue button? I let her know because it doesn't work as well. Because I don't want to end up in Facebook jail, because I don't want you as my hostess to end up in Facebook jail. So don't be afraid in like letting her know those things. Another little side note is that a lot of times when I ask my hostesses to follow up, I'll notice that they go to their party group and they make a post. And that post says, hey, who wants to order? Or don't forget to order. So then I'll go back to my hostess and I'll send her a message and say, hey, I saw your post. I love that. Don't forget to also send out personal messages and follow up that way. So I want to praise her for trying to do it, but I want to remind her that how the steps that I'm asking her to take are what works best. Okay, other hostess coaching tips. One, focus on the wish list. That's why I really love having that Google form. Y'all can get her wish list without the Google form. Just ask her, like, what are you wanting to get for free? But I love to keep it about her by focusing on that wish list. Number two is coaching to a $1,000 party. Whenever I started doing this, there was the biggest jump in my personal volume. Coach to that $1,000 party, because then she's getting $200 for free and unlocking 2 of the exclusives for free. I always like to say that I coach to a $1,000 party because if she misses, she's going to land in that 700 to 8 to 900 range. But if you're coaching to a $500 party, she's going to fall in that $300 to $400 range. Now, I don't know about you all, but I would rather her miss that $1,000 goal and still get $800 party instead of shooting for that 500 and landing at 300. So think about it that way. Third step is asking her to help you book. The best place to book your next parties is at the party that you're having. So get your hostess to partner with you in that. I'll show you a way that I do that in a second. And number 4 is asking her to join. Your hostesses are your future team members. You already know that they love 31 as the product. You already know that they have friends and family that they want to help support them with their 31 habit. They are your future team members. Okay, let's talk about booking parties from the party for a second. So I have a post, and you all should too, in your party that is my booking post. No party, online or in home, is complete if you don't have a way to book more parties from that party. So I actually send a message to my hostess and say, hey, I just made a post about next hostesses. Will you tag anyone on that post that you think would be a great hostess? And anyone who can't order right now, because by this time she should have already been reaching out to her friends, so she knows if somebody can't order. I'd love to help to get them what they want for free as well. So ask those hostesses to partner with you. You don't have to offer them something extra if they do help you book, but I think that it really works. I also say that it's 3 parties. So once they help me book 3 parties from their party, and each of those parties has held their date and qualified, then they get a reward. And y'all, that really does not happen often. Sometimes I'll get 1 or 2 really good parties off of a party, but I say 3. So like that is how high of a standard I have for you to get something for free from me for helping me book parties. Yours doesn't have to be that hard to achieve, or it can be. I mean, it saves me a lot of money. So you do what works for your business. Okay, so now we are, wow, I talked slow that time. Sorry about that. Let's take any questions. Before that, I do just want to remind you all that you got to stay consistent in a script. If you get that pushback from your hostesses, push through. Practice makes perfect. If this feels really awkward the first time around, that means you're doing it right. Do it again and then do it again. It's going to feel more natural the more you do it. And then you'll even think like, oh, I want to do it this way. And you'll feel confident in trying out new things. And then the next tip that I have for you all is just to be cheerful. You are more fun to work with when you're smiling. That's why I really like that video, because your hostess can see your personality shine. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. And I'm actually going to stop recording as well for now so that